I call this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Please join me for the flag salute.
Wait. Oh, sorry.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is item number 3, which is roll call. When I say the name, please either say here or present. Commissioner Avendon. Here. Commissioner Bermudez.
Here.
Commissioner Bandel.
Here.
Commissioner Zaykova.
Here.
Commissioner Gill.
Here.
Commissioner Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner Ortega.
Here.
Commissioner Pham.
Here.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Here.
And Commissioner Surratt.
Here.
Next is item number 4, Secretary's report.
Pause for just a second. Secretary's report.
Okay, the meeting packet was published on August 21st, 2025.
Next is item number 5 on the agenda, which is the approval of minutes. Could I please get a motion to approve the minutes for May 12th, 2025 of the regular meeting of the Youth Commission?
I motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 12th, 2025.
Could I get a second?
I think I motion.
All those in favor say aye, starting from Commissioner Bermudez.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Great, next is item number 6, which is public comment on items not on the agenda.
So just motion passes 11-0. Are there any public comments? Seeing none?
Next is item number 7, which is the 2025 to 2026 Youth Commission resolution.
Okay, all commissioners, for those of you whose back is turned to the monitor, you may want to just adjust your seat. All right, well, welcome back to the commissioners who were here last year, and congratulations to those who were recently appointed. You are now part of the Gilroy Youth Commission for the 2025-26 year. This is the first meeting of the year, and as always, we do an orientation. And we'll also do an icebreaker, just so you guys can kind of get to know each other, because you will be working with one another during this entire school year. So let's begin. All right, and there are some commissioners, probably recognize some of these faces who are here tonight. Okay, so just to kind of show you what we're going to be going over, orientation to the Youth Commission. So what is the Youth Commission? You're going to learn about what it entails, who is eligible to be on it, for how long, when are our meetings, things like that. Changes that we are going to have to the meeting. The Brown Act, we are going to talk about what the Brown Act is. Meetings, what you need to know. Communication, this is really, really, really important. We're going to talk about the importance of checking your email, and you will also be, if you don't already have one, set up a city email account. The bylaws, this is the foundation of the commission. This determines who's eligible to be on the commission, how our meetings run, who are the officers, how our elections going to be conducted, which we're going to do tonight. And we're going to talk about the work plan, which was actually adopted last year, but there is going to be some opportunities to kind of customize it in terms of interests and things like that. Any questions so far? No? Okay, before we go actually any further, here's what I need to do. We are going to, I want everyone, let's see, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, if I pointed to you, I want you to grab your chairs and I want you to bring them over here, okay? You guys don't have to grab your chairs, but everyone else here over, take your chair. Okay, bring your chairs, and I want the chairs to be facing one another, okay, so bring your chairs over here. So put your chairs, so you're gonna be facing one another, okay? So the chair should look like this. Come all the way down. All the way down, thank you. All right, so bring your chair, and we'll do that. You guys come over too, sorry, I just don't need your chairs.
Yeah.
I just need you.
Just your body.
Yes. All right, you can come sit down in your chair. All right, we're just gonna play a little game. All right. Go. Okay, Diana. Okay, all right, so, actually, okay, the four of you already know each other, so let's kind of, here, Anna, can you get up? Why don't you switch with Maya? Okay, and Ben May, can you come over here? Why don't you switch with Betty? Okay. All right, so. This is your partner for the next 60 seconds. You are going to tell them your name, grade you're in, what school you go to, and one fun, exciting thing you did this summer, okay? You did?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Benedict's row, you're going to hop over one seat, and if you're at the end, you're going to come all the way back over here, okay? So let's rotate. Just one seat, there you go. I don't remember, yeah. Okay, name, grade, school, and then what is one thing you wish you did this summer? Okay, so name, grade, school, and what is one thing you wish you did this summer? Go.
My summer camp. I think I was. It's okay. I rarely play
Okay, same thing, we're gonna rotate one seat down, then they come all the way back there, everyone else, go down one chair. Okay, we're gonna do it again, name, grade, school, and this time, you're gonna ask your partner, why did you apply to the youth commission? Go.
I'm ready.
Okay, this is gonna be the last one. Right, rotate one seat down. Anna, come this way. Okay, again, name, grade, school. What are, and the question is, what are you looking forward to while serving on the youth commission? So what are you looking forward to doing while you're on the youth commission?
Okay.
Go.
I'm Gianna, I'm a senior at. It's not really either until September, but I think like, of course, like hearing what you guys are doing, like anything you guys want to ask the first and also seeing like how everyone's there. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, like, it's like you're out with the product, like all of us that you work for, so I don't know. Are you like here so far?
So if you brought the chair over, please bring it back to the table. And we are going to continue with the orientation. All right, okay, that's okay. All right, anyways, okay, so good job. Hopefully you got to know some people, and like I said, you're gonna get to know each other really well over the course of the year. One of the things that I really like about the youth commission is that you all come from different schools. And you're relatively the same age, so it's a great opportunity to kind of learn about, what's going on at your school and just have that exposure to different backgrounds. Yeah. Okay, what is the Gilroy Youth Commission? Okay, it is comprised, so turn around. It is comprised of 11 council-appointed students between the ages of 13 and 19 who live within the Gilroy Unified School District boundaries. Now, there, as you can see, there are 11 of you, but there's actually 12 commissioners here. We have one commissioner, Commissioner Garcia, whose term is going to end at the end of September. And when that term ends, we're going to have Sophia take over this seat. And that's why Sophia is here. She's got the binder. That's why she's participating with us, but she's not officially seated at the table. All right. So the commissioner, the youth commission serves as an advisory group to the city council on all issues that are related to youth and teens Gilroy. So for people who had served before on the commission, what would be an issue that affects youth and teens in Gilroy? That's maybe been discussed, yes.
Well, you guys might have heard about it, but, we really try and help people find like jobs, internships and like volunteer hours. So that's one of the main things we did, and we used an opportunity fair to do that.
Excellent, thank you. Anyone else?
remember last year when we were talking about like the proposed protections to the city council, that we were mostly focused on like environment, because we want like the youth after us to keep experience the beautiful city that we have here.
Um, okay, and then, you're probably wondering who we are. So, this is Leanne McPhillips. She's the Assistant City Administrator, so the head of HR and the city's risk manager. My name is Adam Hennig. I am the Recreation Manager, and we are the staff liaisons to the Youth Commission. So, if you have any questions, you have any issues, if you have a great idea, you want to share it in between meetings, feel free to email us, feel free, to set up a meeting if you want. And, we are available to answer any of your questions related, of course, to the city and the Youth Commission. And okay, so meetings are held on the second Monday of each month. Now, you may have noticed it's not the second Monday of the month. Last May, the commission voted, as they normally do, to change the meeting date, since the second Monday in August would have been, for most of you, I know not for all of you, but for most of you, it still would have been summer break. So, the commission voted to change the meeting date to the last Monday of the month. However, starting in September, the meetings will be held on the second Monday of each month. And it goes all the way through May. There are no meetings in June or July. And they're always held, by the way, in this room at 6 o'clock. Okay, so the commission has a work plan. We'll talk a lot about that later today, and especially at the next meeting. The commission will also make an annual presentation to the city council. This is typically done at the end of the school year in May, and the chair usually presents it. And the commission is in the audience supporting them while they do that. The youth commission does have an official webpage. It has information about when the meetings are, where they are, what the meetings entail, who's eligible to be on it. It also has, if you go on there, your names, and the date of your term. So for those of you who are seniors and were appointed to a one-year term, it'll show that you are going to be on the commission through the end of this school year. While those of you who are sophomores or juniors and you got appointed to a two-year term, it'll show that your term will be ending next May. So it'd be, or next year, it'd be the next school year. Okay, I mentioned changes. So for those of you who were here last year, you're probably wondering, what is this? So I had this idea a few weeks ago. I want the commission to have binders, all right? I know you have a lot of binders probably for school, and this is just another binder. No, this is going to be just for your youth commission meetings and agendas. And for those of you who got information about your email account, you can put it in here. Anything related to the youth commission, feel free to use this. I want you to bring it to every meeting, okay? And it's really important because you're going to have all of the year's agendas and meeting packets in here. And so when you have meetings, in between these meetings, let's say you're on a committee and you're talking about something and you can say, oh, didn't that happen at this meeting? And then you can reference it in your binder because you're gonna have hopefully all of the meeting packets, okay? All right, so make sure, you may want to put your name on it somewhere. Make sure you bring this to every meeting we have, okay? So that's the big change. Okay, the Brown Act. For those of you who were on the commission last year, what is the Brown Act?
Isn't it where you can't like talk about what happened in the meeting anywhere else, like outside of like the hour that we have here?
Yes. What else?
Isn't it also you can't have like a secret meeting or like a group chat with everyone and then text stuff like involving the meeting?
Yes.
We also can't make decisions before the meeting when you're not in session.
Yes, yes, these are all correct. Good job. So the question is, why do they call it the Brown Act? It's because of this guy. His name is Ralph M. Brown, and he was an assembly member in the California, at California State Assembly in Sacramento, during the forties and the fifties, and he represented the Modesto area. And Ralph M. Brown came about at a time when there was a lot of political corruption happening at the state level. And what he noticed is that there were a lot of meetings happening among lawmakers, but no one was notified about it. The media wasn't notified. There were no publicly posted meeting agendas, so the public had no idea what was going on. And they were making decisions behind closed doors. And then afterwards, they would have a publicly posted meeting, but they had already made the decisions. And so there was no opportunity for the public to weigh in on it. And so he was, I guess you could say, disgusted that this was happening. And so he created a law called the Brown Act. And the Brown Act essentially guarantees the public's right to attend and participate in meetings of local legislative bodies. This applies to any body, any government body in the state of California. So whether you live down in San Diego, whether you live up in Eureka, whether you live in Sacramento, the Bay Area, whether it's a school board, whether it's a city, whether it's a county, whether it's at the state level, any government funded body has to abide by what is known as the Brown Act. And you're gonna hear a lot about that. You're gonna hear it from Leanne and I, you're gonna hear it from the city clerk, because guess what? Even though you're minors, you still are on a government body, we're appointed by city council, and you have to abide by the Brown Act. And so there are certain rules that your fellow commissioners were just explaining that you're gonna have to abide by. So we are gonna go over those. So how does it apply to the commission? The meetings are always open to the public. So anyone can come into this room right now and sit down and listen to the meeting. They can even participate in the meeting if they so desired. In your agenda, there's something called public comment on items not on the agenda. If you go to the city's website and you look at any commission, any council meeting, you're always gonna see this line item. So the public always has an opportunity to weigh in on an item that is not on the agenda. And they usually get up to 3 minutes to speak about it. If you go to the city council meetings, it's almost every single meeting, there's at least one person who has something to share. So the meetings are always open to the public. That's why I put out that sandwich board out there to let people know, not only because we have some new commissioners here, but to let the public know that there's a meeting happening in here. We must have a quorum to hold a meeting. What's a quorum?
A majority of the body present,
So what does that mean?
like at least like more than half the people or so.
Yes, yes. So if we have 11 commissioners for the youth commission, which is, by the way, the largest city commission. If we have 11 members, how many do we have to have a quorum? 6. Yeah, it's simple arithmetic. So if we have 5 commissioners, can we have a meeting? If we have 7 commissioners, can we have a meeting? Yeah. So even if we have 6, we can have a meeting, although 5 will be absent, you can still have a meeting. So you have to have a majority of people present. That's why sometimes if 3 or 4 of you tell me you're not going to be here, I may contact all of you to make sure that we have a quorum, because if 2 more people or 3 more people tell me that they're not gonna be here and we're down to 5 or 4, then we can't have a meeting, we'll have to reschedule it. And that has happened. It doesn't happen actually with this commission, it has happened with other commissions, but anyway, so it's important that you're obviously present, but if you're not, you need to let me know, because we may not have enough members to have a meeting. The other thing to keep in mind with a quorum is that if you all are hanging out somewhere, let's say you end up running into each other coincidentally at the movie theater. Let's say there's 7 of you. And, you know, Family and Baru came together, and Anna and Gianna came together, and then the rest of you just kind of came with different people. And then you're all huddling and you're all talking. And you start, of course, what's your common bond? It's the youth commission, right? So then you start talking about things related to the youth commission. You start talking about Opportunity Teen Fair, which is coming up. Guess what? You just violated the Brown Act. Because you're talking about things that are either on the agenda or are going to be on an upcoming agenda, and you're not doing it in a public space. The meeting hasn't been posted yet. So you have to be careful when you see each other to try to avoid talking about specific youth commission items. You could talk about, you know, how much you like the meetings, how much you don't like the meetings, that's fine. But you have to be careful that you're not gonna talk about an item that's, let's say, on the work plan, because that's when you start to get into the gray area. Are there any questions? Okay, the meeting agenda. So you received an email, you also received a text message, on Friday, right? Right? Okay, so Friday, I posted the meeting agenda. I posted it online. I also posted in front of City Hall. There's a kiosk. And it's posted in the window, so anyone from the public can see what is on the agenda, whether it's online or City Hall. And I did that on Friday because we have to post the meeting at least 72 hours in advance. And the reason why is it gives the public an opportunity to review the agenda and also review the meeting packet. So I'm never gonna post it unless it's an emergency meeting. And that would be at least 24 hours in advance, but by and large, the meetings are always gonna be posted at least 72 hours in advance. So if the meeting is held on Monday, it'll most likely be posted on Thursday or Friday. Any questions? Okay, so how does it apply to you? I've already discussed some of this. So you cannot discuss items that will currently or potentially be on future agendas when not in a commission meeting. You cannot hold a meeting in private. No serial meetings either. What does that mean? Do any of the last year's commissioners remember what that means? Okay, all right, very simple. So let's say Benedict, Gianna, and Maya are hanging out. There's only 3 of them. They're talking about something that's on the youth commission agenda, which they shouldn't, but they're technically not violating the Brown Act because there's only 3 of them, right? But let's say Maya says, okay, I'll see you guys later. And then she runs into Anne, Baru, and Anna. And then she starts talking about what they were talking about. That's called a serial meeting because she's maybe didn't have an official meeting the first time she interacted with commissioners, but by having a meeting with the majority of commissioners, it becomes a serial meeting, and that would be a violation of the Brown Act. What is more likely going to happen is text messages. So if you're texting one another and you start talking about things related to the commission and it becomes a group chat and you add people to it, that can become a serial meeting, and that would be a violation of the Brown Act. So as I said, the best thing you can do is avoid talking about things that are going to be on the agenda for the commission. Does everyone understand?
Sometimes there's gonna be subgroups that are gonna form, like little subcommittees to work on particular things related to an item that's a business of the commission. Like say there's a smaller group working on researching a legislative item that the commission has agreed to research and report back on and maybe give some recommendations to council. So there's this subgroup that's doing some research and they're gonna bring it back to this whole group for discussion. So maybe those 3 or 4 people that are in that subgroup may need to talk to each other. They may need to get together to do their work outside of the commission meeting. They may have a text group in order to keep each other on track with the work that they're doing. You just can't then bring other people into it, because as soon as you add somebody else to that text message, or talk to two more commissioners about what the group of four has worked on, that outside of the meeting, that's when you have a conflict with the Brown Act. So there may be times that you do form these groups and you are allowed to work together as your little subgroup on the item, but you just have to be mindful, you can't take it any bigger than that, you can't add other people, you can't pass things on to other folks on the committee, and you definitely don't wanna say, oh, hey, when we get to the youth commission meeting, I want you to vote for X. You know, that kind of thing outside of a meeting would be inappropriate.
Any questions? The last part of how it applies to you is, the other thing is, so we have these agendas, for a few reasons. One is to keep you on track, to keep this commission on track, because otherwise, you know, it can go into 20 different directions. But also to prevent items to be discussed that are not on the agenda. So if it's not on the agenda, it cannot be discussed at one of these meetings. So if it's somehow related to it, perhaps, but if it has nothing to do with what's on the agenda, it can't be discussed. It could be discussed at a future meeting if the majority of commissioners feel that it's appropriate and it's needed, but it can't be discussed at a meeting when it's not posted on the agenda.
And sometimes where this has come up is we've had someone who does come and present some information as a member of the public that they want to share with the commission. So in the public comment section of the agenda, person gets up, they get their 3 minutes to share whatever they want to share with you. Sometimes we give them longer because we don't get a lot of public comment at these meetings. But they have something they want to share with you. Well, you cannot at that moment engage in a discussion with that person back and forth, discussing the item that they wanted to share with you. But what you can do is at the end of that public comment or at the end of the meeting, say, we would like to include a discussion on our next agenda about the topic that our public speaker brought up during public comment, so that we can all discuss it further, and then the public knows that it's going to be discussed by the commission in advance. Does that make sense?
There's Mayor? Okay, all right, enough from me. Can someone explain, what does this mean? How does a meeting run? Okay, because we kind of started it when we were trying to motion, when you were motioning for the minutes, right? So Commissioner Nguyen, Avenay, Sarah, Garcia, Ortega, if you want to explain, how does a meeting run? We have a chart here, but I think a little bit more explanation would be helpful.
So a meeting usually starts off with, the chair saying that the meeting is starting at a certain time. And then roll call and flag salute, and then roll call, and then reports and approval of minutes. And then from there, it's it's the chair announcing things on the items such as staff report. And if we or any of us have any questions, then that's when we would ask them. After that, there's public comment, which is also usually on our agenda. And then discussion after that, and motions to approve anything if that's necessary. And then to approve that, we need a second the motion. And then after that, vote. And then lastly, approving the vote by the chair.
And so all of those steps are purposeful because they are intended to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to have a comment on the item. We encourage you all to share your thoughts and feelings on an item and get that out so everybody can benefit from things that you may have to say about that item. You can ask questions. You may, something that a member of the public says may prompt something and cause some discussion to occur. But then we have the formal voting, which then officially is what we record as part of the minutes of the meeting. You know, who makes the motion, which commissioner made that motion, which commissioner seconded that motion, what was the overall vote from the commission on that item. And then the chair will announce the overall vote at the end, so we can determine if there was action to be taken did it reach the number of votes necessary to pass and move forward? So this is a consistent way all, staff items that are action items are handled, at all of our commissions and even at the, city council meetings as well.
All right, any questions? Okay, how to act during a meeting. Be polite and respectful. I think that goes without saying. You may not agree with what someone is saying. That's okay. That's fine. And you are more than welcome to express your opinion. However, don't be rude, don't be disrespectful. There's a way to present it, without antagonizing another commissioner. This is really important. Listen to all opinions and feedback provided by commissioners, staff and public. So you may have a preformed opinion about something. But, and that's perfectly fine, but be open to hear feedback, be open to hear other points of views, because your opinion might change, and that's okay. It shows that you're listening, it shows that you're paying attention, that you're engaged. And it actually, I think, makes the meeting, much more productive, because if everyone is having different opinions and we don't find common ground, it's gonna be difficult to move things forward. What does it mean when I say focus on issues, not personalities?
Basically, like, focus on the topic at hand, like, don't make anything personal, or like, just because, like, maybe you might dislike someone, like, don't make that change your perspective on like what they're talking about.
Yes, perfect. Stay on topic. So this is one of the jobs of the chair, is to keep the meeting moving, avoid having people go off on tangents or having the topic be diverted into something else. And sometimes you don't realize it's happening before it's too late, but it's the chair's job to foster a productive conversation, but to keep everyone on topic. Because then, first of all, it becomes unproductive, and also it could become a violation of the Brown Act if you start talking about something that is not related to the meeting. Lastly, and this goes with your binder, be prepared. So it's important that when the meeting packet gets sent out, look at it in advance. They're usually relatively short, but it's important that you kind of know what's going on before you come to the meeting. This way you don't have kind of like a blank stare on your face, and you can contribute to the conversation. You may have even questions in advance, and we can write them down, and then during the meeting, you can ask them. So it's really important to be prepared. Right. Okay, we are gonna get to this shortly. What is the role of the chair?
The role of the chair, they basically direct the meeting. They also present at the end of the year, basically what we did throughout the year. And like you said, stay on topic, help like organize people. I know the chair help like people get into groups, stuff like that.
Yes. Anything else about the chair? Chair is also the figurehead of the commission. So, for example, I mentioned the end of the year presentation to the city council. It's going to be delivered by the chair. Chair is seen as the representative of the commission. And so, it's important that the chair is comfortable being in that position, being in the spotlight. There may be other opportunities where the chair is gonna be asked to do something, perhaps, give a short speech, or, meet the mayor and other city council members, serve on an interview panel, which we had last year. We had the chair of these commissions serve on the police chief interview panel. So it's a really important position. Does anyone know what the vice chair does?
That's like the chair isn't there and they pretty much like step in on the chair.
Yes, that is exactly it. So The most important role, responsibility for the vice chair is to be present when the chair is not at a meeting so that they can fill in if the chair is unavailable. Last but not least, the treasurer. What does the treasurer do?
The treasurer reports the report of our finances and our budget.
Yes, so I believe it's 3 times a year, the treasurer will give a report. Because the commission does have a budget and the commission spends that money. It's important that the commission is aware of what's being spent on and how much is in the balance, things like that. We are gonna have elections after this, so if you're interested in serving in any of these positions, stay tuned.
I think all the items that the commission requested as part of the budget process this last year got approved by the city council. So
I wanna say it's the only commission.
the only commission that got all of their items approved, so
Yes.
good job.
Okay, and Leanne had mentioned this earlier, serving on a committee. I'm gonna put Jacob on the spot. He served on a committee last year. Do you wanna tell us about your committee?
So, with my committee, basically, we were called like the Loma Prieta Committee because we were focused on, researching possible protections for the Loma Prieta flower because it is an endangered, flower local to the city of Gilroy as well as other parts of California. So we all got together as like a group. We would meet a few times to basically create a proposal to suggest for the council to take action to help prevent extinction and also to help like preserve it and get it involved more in our local ecosystem.
Yeah, so we have committees for different topics. We have a legislative committee that focused, as Jacob said, on protecting this vulnerable flower. And then we had another committee.
So I was on the Opportunity Fair Committee. And on that one, we kind of just planned out mainly what vendors we were going to reach out to. Looking for like any shops that might want to be on there. Also planning for like materials, scheduling the event, like when it's going to be, what time works the best. That was the main topic of the Opportunity Fair.
As it was mentioned earlier, so the committees meet outside of the regular meetings, so they wouldn't meet during the meeting, but they do report out. They would meet in between the meetings, usually it's after school, when it's a convenient time for everyone. Typically, it's here at the senior center, and we never have more than 5 people on a committee. I would say typically it's maybe 4 people, 3 people on a committee. Depending upon what the topic is. Sometimes we break it up into 2 committees, like the Opportunity Fair. And so everyone will have an opportunity to serve. Absences. All right, I am going to read this and then we'll explain. So the city of Gilroy does have a policy concerning absences. With regards to any sort of governing board, commission, cells and committee. So each member of a body, which is the youth commission, is expected to attend every regular and special meeting of the body. Any member who is absent in a calendar year for more than 33% of the total regular meetings scheduled to be held in that calendar year will be subject to potential termination of membership from the body upon action of the city council. I will tell you, we have had commissioners in violation of this. For whatever reason, they just couldn't make it to the meeting. If this commission meets, I think it's 9 times out of the year, so it's not a lot of meetings. And so if you miss a meeting, it's already, wow, I mean, you've missed more than 10% of the meetings. If you miss 3 meetings, you've missed 1 out of every 3 meetings, and it's hard for you to be involved. It's hard for you to contribute. So it's really important that, you go home tonight and you put in your calendar, in your phone, you look at the second Monday of every month between now and May, and you put this time down as from 6 to 7 that you're gonna be here. Because if you're not here, you're not gonna be an effective commissioner, and you're not gonna get much out of it. And ultimately, that's what this is about, is for you to get something out of this commission, for you to contribute to your community. And you're not gonna be able to do that if you don't come to the meetings. It's very simple. So if you exceed the 33% rule, we notify the city clerk, who will then notify the city council, and you could be potentially removed from the commission because you have been in violation of the absentee rule.
No, that's it.
Okay, kind of emphasized this earlier. This is always kind of a bit of a struggle, not with everyone, but with some people. And so I really going to spend a little bit of time on this because this is crucial. So obviously in the meetings, we're gonna be communicating, in person, and that's pretty obvious. But it's what happens in between the meetings. There's additional communication. There's usually a lot of follow-ups. I typically send an email kind of summarizing what we discuss, especially if there's upcoming events and meetings. And there's dates and there's times that you need to know about. So it's really important that you check your email. I do have your phone numbers from the applications. Hopefully you received a text from my city phone. If you didn't, let me know so I can get the right number, because I want to make sure that you know, hey, there's a meeting coming up, or you're on this committee. Did you do X, Y, and Z? There have been some events that have been mentioned, Opportunity Fair. We're gonna be doing some other big events where I'm gonna need to get a hold of you and ask you, like, can you do this, or did you do this? And if you're not responsive, I don't know if you've done it. And then when the time comes for the event or the meeting, and whatever the responsibility that you've been asked to do hasn't been done, it doesn't just affect you, it affects actually the whole commission, it affects the people who are participating in the event. So it's really, really important that you stay engaged. If you haven't heard from me for a while, it's probably not because I haven't been responding to you, it's because for whatever reason, you're not getting the email, you're not getting the text message. And there's only so much that I'm gonna go after, like, at a certain point, I depend on you to reciprocate and respond back. And just let me know, hey, I'll be there, or I can't make it. But if you don't tell me, I don't know what's going on. And then, like I said, it impacts not just you, not just me, but the entire commission.
Also respectful to acknowledge the receipt. So if Adam does send something out to you, give him a quick reply back. Thanks, received. So he knows you got it and he knows that you read it. And that way it's something that he can take off his mind and move on to the next thing that he needs to do during his day. So that's a respectful thing to do as a commissioner and serving on this group. Because Adam does a lot of work to keep everyone on track. And so that just helps him know that he's made that connection with you and he can move on to his next thing that he needs to do.
And just to add to that, eventually you are all going to join the workforce. And this rule is no matter what the technology is at that point, this is still going to apply. And if you can't adhere to communicating with your colleagues, with your supervisor, supervisor, it's gonna be very difficult to hold down a job, because communication, it's crucial. I always argue it's the most important aspect of a job, especially a job where you're interacting with people. So if you have plans to work in government, you want to be a teacher, you want to do anything that involves people, customer service, marketing, you really have to learn how to communicate. And this is a great opportunity for you to develop those skills. Okay, there were 7 of you that I handed a piece of paper to, and it had information about a city email account. All of you have a city email account. For those of you who were handed a piece of paper that had information about it, this is your opportunity to activate it. You can do it tonight. I highly recommend you do it this week. And it's very simple. And it's something that I want you to check and utilize. This is not something that, that any of your friends are going to have, which is an official city email account. It's going to be your name at cityofgilroy.org. And it should only be used for youth commission related activities. Don't use it for anything that's not related to the youth commission. Why? Why don't I want you to do that? Family's got the answer.
It's because like, and you're like public when you have a city email or anything like city related. So like, if like I were to like email like the clerk or whatever and ask her to like look at all the like the mayor's like emails like the past month or whatever, she could probably send that to me. And I would probably be able to look through all of them. And since we all have a city email, anyone can do that if they wanted. So I mean, it doesn't mean that it's gonna happen, but it means that like anyone can look through it, and you don't want like your emails with like your friend on there, whereas like someone else's. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to embarrass yourself, or your family. So, these emails are public documents. They're no different than this meeting agenda, okay? The public has a right, as the codes have shown, access to it, to your emails. So your emails do not belong to you when you're using the city email account. So just always keep that in mind. So when you log in, just know, that once you send that message, you can never get it back. And that message always has an opportunity, no matter how rare it is, but there's always that small opportunity that it could be read by a member of the public, it could be published on a website, it could be published in the newspaper. You've probably seen it in the news, typically it's in big cities and it's high level officials. And it's just shocking in this day and age that people are still getting caught up in email scandals. I mean, it's as if, they didn't realize that they are subject to public scrutiny. So we don't want that to happen here. There's no reason why it shouldn't be, but I also don't want to discourage you from using it. Like, it's okay to say, hey, Adam, X, Y, and Z, thanks. That's great. Like, I want you to use it. I want you to be comfortable using the email, but just do it appropriately. If you have questions in terms of logging in or, you're having browser issues, I will try to help you. If I can, I'll contact the IT department and then they'll be able to assist you. All right. So for those of you who just got your email account, your homework this week is to activate it. Okay. Are there any questions about email communication? Bylaws. Okay. What are bylaws? Some of you probably never heard of that word. What are the bylaws?
Bylaws are the laws that we as a commission follow.
Wait, can you say it again?
Bylaws are the laws that we as a commission follow in our own.
Yeah, okay, they're actually in your meeting packet, because, they are part of the next staff report, which is the elections. So if you go toward the end, it's the last, let's see, 1, 2.
Page 7.
Yeah, the last 3 pages of your meeting packet, it says City of Gilroy Youth Commission bylaws. And these actually were recently uploaded, a year ago, actually. And so it tells you, again, the powers and duties. Ultimately, what does the commission do? What is its focus? What is the mission? It tells who can become a member of the youth commission. So if you live in Morgan Hill, you can't join the Gilroy Youth Commission. If you are 12 years old, you can't join the youth commission. So it tells you who can be on it. It talks about the appointments, the terms. It talks about the officers, which I don't wanna get into, because we're gonna talk about it in the next staff report for elections. It talks about the meetings. It talks about quorum, which you learned about tonight. Talks about committees, attendance, everything that we've kind of gone over, it covers. So this is something you definitely want to have in your binder. It's a reference material whenever you have any questions. A lot of them can be answered just on the bylaws, just reviewing the bylaws. And guess what? We sometimes amend and make changes to the bylaws, which we did a couple of years ago. Either it was outdated, it didn't apply anymore, or it just wasn't clear. The way we do that is it's treated like a staff report. You know, we review it, we talk about it, we discuss it. What are the pros, what are the cons? Commission votes on it. If they support it, the majority of them, then it can be changed. Any questions? Okay, so I talked about this earlier. So this is going to be your work plan. It's actually gonna be your work plan for the next 2 years. So this was developed last year. It's very similar to the previous commission's work plan. But there are some new items. So let's go through each one. Number one, identify a legislative issue that impacts youth and teens of Gilroy or the community at large. Jacob had mentioned, protecting the Loma Prieta flower. Does anyone remember the previous legislative issue? I don't know if anyone in the commission was there for it. It was the youth center. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, okay, so the commission, I wanna say 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, had identified that there was a need in Gilroy that affected youth and teens. There's no youth center. That may seem not that unusual, but actually it is. Many cities have some sort of youth or teen center. And sometimes they're really small, like the size of this room, sometimes they're huge, like it looks like a community center. But it's usually specifically, or it should be specifically for youth and or teens. They usually have couches there, televisions, study areas. It's almost kind of similar to the teen area at the library. And obviously the focus is always students who are in your age category. Anyway, so the commission wrote a 2-page paper. They did a lot of research and they explained why there was a need for a youth center in Gilroy. And then at the end of the year, they submitted it to the Gilroy City Council for consideration.
And that's still something that has life and legs on it, because this year we went through a whole master planning process of our whole civic center area here and all the property that's owned by the city. And the need for some new facilities, because some of our facilities are very, very old. And as part of that, if we are able to move that forward, there was a huge focus on making sure that whatever we do in the redo of this civic center, that there needs to be a youth teen center incorporated into it in some way, shape, or form. So even though that was so long ago, it takes a long time to make things like that happen. And so that letter from the Youth Commission has stayed part of that master planning process. And if it goes to the next phase, which would be sort of adoption of a master plan, and then it will be something that goes to the voters, possibly in November of 26. That youth center would be a really major incorporated part of that project. So that letter is important, and it's staying in that file associated with that project. And so we'll see what happens, but it's important.
One of the, I think it's one of the downsides of being a commissioner is just naturally, I mean, you have 2-year terms, right? You may not be able to see whatever it is that you're proposing all the way through, but at least you're the spark to get it going. And those students who worked on that youth and teen center proposal were the spark to get that idea going. So, anyways, number 2, participate in a community cleanup day. So, we the Recreation Office, the Recreation Division, actually sponsored two, citywide community cleanup days. There's actually one coming up on September 20th, and then there's another one in May. And this would simply be the commission coming out, hopefully some of you, I'm sure some of you have done this before, it's an easy way to get some community service hours. We meet at Christmas Hill Park, on the ranch site, and we give you a grabber, we give you some gloves, you get a garbage bag, and you clean up, and you would be surprised how easy it is to find trash, when you're looking for it, and it's very quickly, within an hour, you will fill up that garbage bag. It's a great way for the commissioners to be engaged with what's going on. Invite your friends, your classmates, because they're probably gonna need community service hours as well. Number 3, does everyone want to talk about number 3? This is a new event that was proposed.
Yes, so last year we decided, to add this to the work plan, which is to organize and host an intergenerational dance at the senior center. So for us, that looked like, having a day where like seniors can enjoy themselves and enjoy their time. So like food and music and dancing, maybe like karaoke, like a photo booth, things like that. So, we added that to our plan last year.
So, the intergenerational dance, is obviously gonna be here at the senior center. Has everyone been to the senior center before? Okay, so the senior center, it's kind of like a community center, but in the mornings, Monday through Friday, it is a senior center. We serve lunch here for almost 100 seniors every day, and they're a very active group. In fact, this summer, there were a lot of youth and teens helping to out serving, cleaning up, doing things on behalf of the seniors. And of course, they were needing community service hours, but it was great to see a lot of interaction between these different generations. So this event would be held here at the senior center, and we are planning to do this in November. So this is another date that you're going to want to put down in your calendar. I will send out an email as a reminder, but November 21st, it's a Friday evening. I believe it's gonna be from like 5:30 to 8, don't quote me on that. You are going to help organize this event. You are going to be not just helping out, but you're gonna be involved. You're hopefully gonna be dancing with the seniors, you're going to be engaging with them. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There'll be food there, there'll be lots of decorations. You guys are gonna help organize it. You're gonna promote it, you're going to create flyers, you're gonna decorate. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but we're gonna need your help. And we definitely are gonna need you to be there. So plan on being there Friday, November 21st, put it in your calendar. I'll get you more information. We'll talk a lot more about it at the next meeting. Now, this was mentioned earlier. You can see there's a price tag right next to it, $2,075. So City Council, actually toward the end of last year, the commission put together their work plan and also put together some items that they wanted the council to consider to incorporate into the city's budget. And that was one of the items, which was to organize an intergenerational dance. And the commission determined that's approximately how much it would cost to put it on. That includes food, DJ, decorations, things like that. So whoever becomes the treasurer is going to help ensure that we stay within budget for that event. And so that's what that financial figure means. Okay, next one. Support Breakfast with Santa. What is Breakfast with Santa? I know some of you attended this years ago.
It's a kids event that's hosted at the senior center around Christmas time. Basically, what we do is we serve, lots of kids come in. We serve foods, do like little origami, arts and craft, give it to the kids, help them make it. It's like a family time, so it's really nice for them. And we volunteer there, and yeah.
And that will be on Saturday, December 6th. So that's another one that you can put down. Saturday, December 6th. And it's from, like I say, you probably get here about 8, and you'd stay to maybe about like 11:30-ish or so. You have setup, cleanup. Most of the time you'll be in here, you will be fed breakfast. And it's a lot of fun. You get to wear your youth commission shirts and, like Bruce said, help kids with their projects. Okay, Senior Tech Day. What is Senior Tech Day? Actually it started 2 years.
So Senior Tech Day is, we set out a few days throughout our year to come in the senior center and help the seniors out with their technology if they have any questions. So we usually have a table and then they would come over, and ask us anything and we'd help them.
Yeah, in fact, there was a picture earlier. I think it hasn't come up yet. Okay, sorry. Anyways, so this is also held obviously at the senior center, and because the seniors are here when you're normally in school, we tend to do it during your winter break or during the week off when you're Thanksgiving, or if there's just a school holiday. So it has to coincide during senior service hours, but you would be surprised how many of them need assistance. What are some of the issues that they have? What are some of the questions that they have?
Literally like so many of them were just like struggling, especially with contacting people. Like they somehow have like issues with their settings or messages or like their phone number or Wi-Fi. So most of them, like I'd say all of them aren't stuff that's like you need to be super techie smart with. It's just like helping them out and mainly just like, yeah, communication.
Showing them how to do things.
Yeah, showing them how to do stuff.
Sometimes pretty basic things that they just don't know how to use it. And then I think one time the day was right after the holidays, so some of them had gotten new devices for Christmas. And they're like, what, don't even know how to use this, and so it was nice to have folks sit down and be patient and show them how to use their new tools. So that they, could feel confident and able to, keep in touch with their friends and family members.
Yeah, in fact, they were asking me after you left and went back to school, hey, are they coming back? I said, well, yes, only when they're they are. Okay, and then the last one is the Opportunity Fair. This will be held probably around the same time as we normally do it, which is in March. And we'll talk more about it. I'm looking at the clock, so I don't wanna hold you guys up too late, because we still need to do elections, so. We'll talk more about this. This is the big signature event at the commission. They've done it 2 years in a row, and it's just a very successful event. In fact, this picture was taken at it. And basically, it's a job fair that's geared for just teenagers. And it's great. So you have businesses there, internships are provided, volunteer opportunities, and all sorts of industries are there. Gilroy Gardens, the city of Gilroy. The library's there, there are some robotic folks there, Old Navy is there, so it's a pretty cool event. And the council did approve, by the way, apparel, money to purchase T-shirts that have a youth commission logo on it. You guys can help design it and determine, what color it's going to be, so we'll talk more about that in a future. Okay, I think this is really helpful. It's the end of the year council presentation, so everything that the commission worked on last year is summarized in May by the chair, and I'm gonna show you what the chair spoke about last year. Find it, should go. And he's right over here, that's me.
Good evening, council members, and good evening, audience. My name is Alfred James, and I'm the current chair for the Gilroy Youth Commission. And today I'm here to present our end of year report and share what we've accomplished throughout this year. Before I go into the presentation, I'd like to explain the context behind the photo on this slide of the presentation. This was at one of our earlier Youth Commission meetings held this year, where students from the Santa Cruz County came and observed our meeting as they're trying to start their own youth board similar to ours. And it was an honor to have them view us as a model for this youth board. The Gilroy Youth Commission proudly presents the voice of local youth, advising the city council on issues that impact teens, and we lead youth-focused initiatives across the community. This year, the commission boosted civic engagement through events such as Opportunity Teen Fair, Senior Tech Week, and Breakfast with Santa, all while creating leadership and collaboration among our members. Here's some of the key highlights of this year. One of our most important changes was the bylaws that we amended. So one of the rules that we changed was the end of our terms. Historically, our terms had ended at the end of September. However, we felt that it wasn't necessary because it didn't line up with the end of school year. So we changed the bylaws so that our terms would end at the end of June, which would line up with the end of our school year. We also assisted the city with the Breakfast with Santa event at the Gilroy Senior Center, where we led arts and craft project for over 200 youth, and we assisted and helped serve breakfast. We also continued our tech help for seniors. This year, we were able to serve over 30 seniors at the Gilroy Senior Center, and we assisted them with their devices such as flip phones, iPhones, iPads, Androids, computers, and smartwatches. And finally, we held our Opportunity Teen Fair. The Opportunity Teen Fair was an event that we hosted, which acted as a fair for to expose high school students to job opportunities, volunteer opportunities, and internship experiences. We began planning this event in January, where we did outreach to the dozens of vendors. We created various promotions through schools and social medias with our videos reaching over 6,000 views. We worked together to set up the gym for the days before, and we assembled thank you baskets for the vendors that did show up. We also raffled out prizes to local organizations in Gilroy, such as Camino Coffee and Savage Ice Cream Parlor. Of the vendors that we reached out to, 24 showed up. We also had a significant number of students show up. This year, we had 200, which was a significant increase compared to last year. We also had 80 people turn in their passports, and the passports were these pieces of paper that students would take around to different vendors, and as they were filled out, they were able to turn those in for raffle prizes. Here's some pictures of the event, which includes the planning process and some of the organizations that attended. We had many local organizations such as Gilroy Gardens, Gilroy Foundation, and the City of Gilroy Recreation Division. And we had some organizations come from outside the city, such as the City of Morgantown and the Naval STEM program in Monterey. Now, I'd like to invite Commissioners Ortega and Sandoval to discuss the legislative issue that the Youth Commission took on this year.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Rodriguez Sandoval, and I'm a senior from Christopher High School. And this is my first year on the Gilroy Youth Commission.
I'm Jacob Ortega. I'm a junior at GACA, and this is also my first year.
And I want to begin by thanking our fellow committee members, Sophia Romero, Ethan Jeff, and Maya Barrett, for working together on this issue with us. 2 years ago, the Youth Commission made a recommendation that they should invest in a youth and teen center. But this year, we decided to explore a different direction. And so the Gilroy Youth Commission identified the Loma Prieta flower, a native species in Gilroy that has great value in conservation and is in danger of going extinct. This plant is a rare species of legumes, so think beans and lentils, that also goes under the name of Loma Prieta levaroot, Loma Prieta oita, and the Oita strobelina. Appearance-wise, it reaches up to 3 feet in height and grows purple pea-like flowers. It can be found in various places, such as our very own Mount Madonna, Christmas Hill, and Lions Creek. Aside from Gilroy, it can be encountered throughout the Bay Area in dry, rocky environments, but its presence is dwindling due to increased urbanization and habitat loss.
We became alerted that the Loma Prieta flower was threatened by extinction from the Santa Clara Valley Habitat Network. Plants like the flower are responsible for the air we breathe, the food we eat, and even the medicine we use. Which is why it is especially harmful that plant extinction rates are close to 500 times higher to the human activity. Each part of the ecosystem is tied together. Removing one plant from the equation might not collapse a habitat, but continuously removing plants will cause dire, irreversible effects. The flower also benefits our agricultural economy by attracting pollinators, which are local crops rely on. Some government agencies have addressed their own local species in a variety of ways, such as the enforced protections of the California poppy by the state of California, the management of feral cats by the East Bay Regional Park District, and the zoning laws and regulations placed in Monterey County to protect the Gilroy flower.
As a first step, the Youth Commission is recommending to the City Council that they take action to address the conservation of the Loma Prieta flower. We propose the 3 E's. First, we want to focus on educating the public, such as through posting the flower on the city's website, partnering with the Welcome Center with Gilroy Gardens, distributing brochures, and hosting community-wide events. We also want to encourage growth of the flower, whether it be on city property or with businesses. And finally, we also encourage perhaps enforcement, such as through fines. We thank you for your time and consideration. Any questions?
I don't have any questions, except I just have a couple of comments. So there's 2 of the things you guys do that I absolutely love, and one of those is the tech for seniors. And I know that Adam always says like, hey, when do you guys want to come back? Because they really need it. So I appreciate that. And I know that that group does too. And then the opportune fair. That's huge. So those 2 things alone, and many of the other things that you guys got involved in, I just want to make sure that you constantly get the younger folks in the youth commission it's building in succession. And that's oftentimes something that, you might hear like, oh, I wish the commission would do that again. So I just encourage you to really get those younger folks or those that are interested that you're trying to get on the commission to worry about that succession and make sure that those things that are successful continue on even when you all end it.
Now I'll hand it over to Alfred.
Before I conclude the presentation, on behalf of the Youth Commission, I'd like to respectfully resubmit our letter advocating for a youth center in Gilroy in response to the civic master plan that was recently conducted in the Wheeler Gym. The youth center would be a hub for the youth in Gilroy to collaborate and foster leadership, creativity, and increase youth activity within the city. We hope you consider implementing this youth center in Gilroy, as we believe it will provide significant benefits to our community. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you. Great job.
All right, so the bar is set high. Okay, so that's the end of the orientation. Any questions? Okay, that's all right. All right, we're gonna go into the next item. Kara?
On to item number 8, which is a new business, item 8.1, elections for chair, vice chair, and treasurer for the 2025 to 2026 youth commission.
Okay, so if you look at your binder, okay, there is the minutes that you approved earlier, and then after the minutes, there is a staff report. And this staff report is for elections. So tonight, you're going to elect for this school year, a chair, a vice chair, and a treasurer. And now you have an understanding of what each of those jobs do. You just saw the chair present in front of the commission, but you also saw other commissioners speak as well. Okay, we talked about what the chair does. They facilitate the meeting, the figurehead of the commission. The vice chair, what does the vice chair do?
In place of the chair.
Yes. And last but not least, the treasurer, what does the treasurer do?
Keep track of our finances.
Yes, keep track of your finances. Okay, so here is how this is going to work. A commissioner, I'm on page 2 now. A commissioner can nominate another commissioner for themselves for a position. So we'll start at chair. Let's say you nominate yourself for chair, you don't get elected. You know what? You can try for the next position, which is vice chair. And you can try that. You can nominate yourself or someone can nominate you. What we'll do is you'll have, once we find out who would like to run, they'll have, let's say, 30 seconds to give a quick stump speech, why they think that they should be the chair. And then once we ask for any other nominations, someone else has the opportunity to nominate themselves or someone else. If so, then they'll do their stump speech. Once the nomination period closes, then we will pass out these pieces of paper, and with your pen, you're going to write down who you think should be the chair. It's going to be only the people who have been nominated and or accepted the nomination. By the way, if you've been nominated and you don't want it, that's okay, you can decline the nomination. The candidate with the highest votes for office will be appointed to the position, which will expire at the end of this school year. The newly selected officers will take their position following this meeting. Now, none of our officers from last year are here tonight, so I had asked the previous commissioner, a commissioner who was here from the previous term to serve as the interim chair. Okay? Any questions before we get started? Okay, so let's open up the nomination period for chair. Who would like to be chair? You can nominate yourself or you can nominate someone else.
I'll nominate myself.
Okay, Jacob nominates himself. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to be chair?
I would also like to nominate myself as well.
Okay. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to be chair? Going once. Going twice. Okay, the nomination period for the chair has been closed, so now let's do our 30-second stump speech. Commissioner Rotunda, do you want to go first?
Sure. So I know a lot of you are new. My name is Jacob Ortega. I go to GECA and I'm a current senior. One thing I've learned from my various leadership positions is that leadership isn't just about taking the lead. It's about listening and bringing people up, even if it's above you. You want to help uplift your community, and that's what I hope to do as chair of the commission. Thank you.
Okay. And Commissioner Nguyen.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anna. I'm a senior at Gully High School, and with the Youth Commission, I originally joined it, hoping to create change and to be more involved in my community, and I think that is a shared interest among us all. And through it, I've learned to meet a lot of new people, and I've gone to lead the Go Opportunity Fair with my fellow commissioners, and that has been very impactful. So I hope to bring everybody here also the same opportunity to make an impact here and to help other youth to be more involved. So thank you.
Okay, Leanne is going to pass out a piece of scratch paper.
I'm actually giving you three, one for each election, so I don't need to pass them out once.
Good idea.
So just use one piece of paper for each election that we're gonna have.
Okay, so the first one is going to be for chair, and you are going to write down either Jacob's name or Anna's.
Do that three.
And then you are going to fold it. And then you are going to hand it. Here, fold it, put it in the hat. And then we'll. All right, Leanne is gonna come around, put it into the hat.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then we are going to count it. And then we are gonna move on to vice chair. We have to do this first before we can ask for nominations, right? Because. Yes,
I think it's a vote.
yes, you know what? Unfortunately, because you're not seated, you can't vote yet, okay?
September.
Okay, congratulations to Commissioner Nguyen. You are the new chair for the 2025-26. Okay, are there any nominations for vice chair? Okay, Benedict. Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate them.
Tammy, do you accept the nomination? Was that a yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
I'll nominate myself.
okay. Jacob,
And I would like to nominate Baru.
Baru, okay. Oh, sorry, does Baru accept it?
I would like to decline.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, are there any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, all right, nomination period is closed, so we are going to start with the stump speech. Commissioner Pam?
My name is Ben Pham. I'm a senior Christopher, and I've been in some other leadership roles, like my ASB at school, and a lot of those kind of focus on the school's issues. This youth commission focuses on more of the entire city, focusing on the teen obviously, and they just hope that as a vice chair, I can work in conjunction with Commissioner Lynn, because I've known her for a little bit, and we're able to kind of just lead the commission, even though she's just a figurehead, and we're able to efficiently solve our issues and create better solutions.
Commissioner Saran.
Alright, I'm Ben, I'm a junior at Monte Vista Christian in Watsonville. I've been on the commission for, I think, 2.5 years, yeah, so, I have like the knowledge and like experience to like step in for, Anna when she's not here, and I kind of have like the flow already like set side of me, like I kind of like know what to expect and like how we're gonna go throughout each meeting and like event.
Thank you, and Commissioner Ortega.
You heard me speak before, but, one thing I really hope to get out of the Gilroy Youth Commission was not only to just uplift my community, but I also wanted to push myself further. And I hope to help also push my community further, because I know we're great, and I know we can do more.
Okay, all right, you have a piece of paper in front of you. Please write down the name of the person you would like to select for vice chair, and then fold it in half. We'll come around, pick it up, and tally this. You can vote for yourself. Yes, good question.
I do have a question.
Yes,
If you are an officer, can you also be in a commission?
wait, say that one more time.
If you are an officer, can you also be on a commission?
You mean like a committee or a commission?
Committee, yeah, sorry.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, congratulations to Commissioner Pham. You are the vice chair for the 25-26 Youth Commission. Okay, the final position is treasurer. The nomination period is open. Who would like to Okay, Commissioner.
I like to nominate Varun.
Does Baruch accept the nomination?
So.
Okay. And would anyone else like to nominate someone or nominate themselves for treasurer? Yes.
I'd like to
Commissioner
nominate
Sanchez.
myself.
All right, okay. Commissioner Sanchez. Okay, anyone else? Going once, going twice,
Give it a try.
Ashley?
To nominate myself.
Okay, yes. Okay, any other nominations? Going once, going twice. Okay, that closes the nomination period. Let's hear from Commissioner Abernay.
Alright, so, some of you might already know me, I'm Vera Abana, I'm a sophomore at GECA. I believe I'm qualified for this position because I've served on the youth commission for a good while now, like I'd say close to 2 years. And one thing I've learned is to always help make connections and bond with others because it can help you understand them more. I believe I'm qualified for this also because I've planned out many family vacations, trips, and visits among my family, planning for their money and what they can do while what others can't. I'm a student at GECA, so I know how to work myself through every single situation. And if we ever have a problem, I'll make sure to report it and make sure that we're always using what the city council gave us wisely.
Okay, Commissioner Sanchez.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maya. I am a senior at GECA. And I just want to say that our impact as a commission does matter. This is my first year serving, but I did attend the opportunity, and it was honestly one of my favorite events that I've been to because I got to learn a lot about like the different internships in the area that I would have definitely not have heard about before. And as someone that's pursuing a career in like STEM, that can be a little bit hard to find that sort of information. So as a treasurer, I would help to continue those processes, but also bring my own creative ideas. I am a rec leader, and I was also a member of the teen advisory board for the library. So I've worked with youth, both young children and people that are around our age. So I do have the experience of how to cater to different age groups. Thank you.
Great. And, Ashley.
Hi, my name is Ashleen. I'm an 8th grader at Daylight Prep School. I don't have much experience compared to everyone here, probably has twice as more experience as me. But I'd like to take this like advantage right now that I have to be able to put like, financially like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get a little nervous. Being able to kind of organize to kind of like save more money to be able to put more events and more like opportunities for teenagers rather than having a couple of events that are focused on one point, to have kind of like multiple events a year so we're able to have more engagement in the community.
Okay, all right. You know the drill. Write down the person's name that you would like to select for treasurer. If you want to nominate yourself or select yourself, you're more than welcome to. And then fold it up. We're gonna come around, gonna grab it, count it, and then that's it. Okay, congratulations to Commissioner Abernay. He's the next treasurer for the 25
I want to thank everyone who put themselves out there. It's not always easy to put yourself out there in front of a group and to give your 30-minute talk, but again, part of being on this commission and stepping out of your comfort zone is part of the learning experience and growing. So don't give up, keep trying, and just thank you for putting yourself out there and being vulnerable. And everyone on the committee still has the same one vote, and we'll all continue to work together.
Okay, Commissioner Nguyen or Chair Black? Wait, do you wanna continue? We're on number 9. Almost done.
Do we have any other business?
We have none.
Okay. On to item number 10, which is staff or commission comments.
Really just reminders, so for those of you that emailed tonight, please email today, activate it sometime this week. There will be an email coming from me about some upcoming activities and events, and also when your next meeting is. And the next meeting will be September 10th. This room, 6 o'clock, that is the second Monday. And that's that.
And will your email include the dates for the intergenerational dance
Yes.
and the breakfast with Santa and any other dates that are important? So everyone gets those on their calendars now and puts those dates on hold, so you don't put yourself for something else.
Awesome.
Adjourn.
I adjourn the meeting at 7:38 PM.
All right, thank you, everyone. This is probably gonna be the longest meeting of the year.
I'm gonna make it happen today, 'cause it's fun.
Right.